In this video, we will be tasting and talking about batch 123 of the TeasEco-Cha Tea Club, a Dong Ding Oolong tea from Taiwan. Batch 123 of the TeasEco-Cha Tea Club is a Dong Ding Oolong tea from Taiwan, specifically from Phoenix Village or Fenghuang Chun in Lugu Township, Nantou County. And this is a summer 2025 crop of tea leaves made by our good friend and source of Dong Ding Oolong tea and our primary source of Shanlinshi High Mountain Oolong tea as well. We've known Mr. Chen for well over 20 years, and he's the guy that we go hang out with the most and learn from the most in terms of examining and understanding tea and just about the local industry in general, farming practices, etc. So this is our summer 2025 batch of Dong Ding Oolong tea that we decided to share finally. There are two basic reasons, or I should say, two basic missions in our sourcing batches of tea for the tea club. And one is to find anomalies, very unusual or even unique batches of tea for one reason or another, based on the harvest or the growing season or the processing methods or a combination of all of those. And the second one is to represent the classic and renowned names in Taiwanese tea. For example, another example besides Dong Ding would be the Shanhai Mountain tea. We like to share a batch of that once a year, Chun green tea, and sometimes Baozhong, Wenshan Baozhong cha. If we do, it's usually a competition grade tea, Taiwan Oolong tea. These are all the classic names of Taiwanese teas, the most famous and renowned on the market here domestically in Taiwan. So it's been a while, if ever really. We've definitely shared competition grade and award-winning Dong Ding Oolong teas, but we finally got to make an agreement with our friend Mr. Chen to provide us consistently with his produce. And prior to that, he just didn't have enough to share. He had previous customers that really just took it all and didn't have enough to consistently offer us on a seasonal basis. He, in the last few years, he's acquired other plots of tea in his neighborhood from old farmers that are just too old to do what they have done for decades. So he basically leases or rents those crops, those plots of tea, and makes tea from them the way he does with his own plots of tea. All Qingxin Oolong strain. So the other thing that's special about this month's edition of the Tea Club, it is February 2026. February is when the Lunar New Year happens this year. So happy Lunar New Year to all of our tea friends around the world. The year of the fire horse. So in celebration of that and the whole theme of abundance and prosperity, we're not only sharing one type of tea, we're sharing two types of tea. So you get two equal-sized packs of tea this month because we want to. And there is a specific connection between them. The second batch of tea locally is often referred to as, I won't try to say it in Taiwanese, it's called Wadi. And in Mandarin, that is Ge Dao Zi Cha, which is reap rice tea. And that refers to basically making a big kettle of not just water for the farm workers, but throwing a handful of tea leaves in there and making it a little more tasty and thirst quenching. Large kettle, like large, and a bowl out on the side of the road or in the field. It's also served in temples, where they'll just have publicly offer this large amount of tea each day, or especially for events. And Ge Dao Zi Cha, this particular name, is given to basically it's a B grade material of leaves. So our source of Dong Ding Oolong tea any batches of tea that he's going to make into a standard or classic Dong Ding Oolong tea, he's going to roast it. So he has the stems and the overly mature leaf material removed from the leaves so that it's more uniform and roasts more uniformly and produces the optimal results. So then we have the B grade, that's what got taken out of the A grade, and it's stems and older leaves. They do an infrared scanning, it's all by coloration. And so he collected that from all of his harvests that he made as a traditional Dong Ding Oolong tea. So, once again, to recap that, this is the second harvest of his home plot of tea. The leaves, let's take a quick look. The dried leaf material first, very uniform in both color and size and shape. That's because he had the stems and older leaf material removed. And we can still see a greenish hue. It's not really super roasted, but when you taste it, it tastes quite obviously roasted. So roasted with care and finesse. And the brewed leaves are similar in that they are uniform in color, relatively immature crop of tea, harvested when the leaves were still young. No major, they're just young, small, tender leaf material. And that's probably why the roast had an effect much more quickly, and the leaves were transformed more easily because they are by nature tender and volatile compared with a more mature crop of leaves that would have more fiber. The coloration of the leaves, this is the A grade Dong Ding Oolong tea, and it looks like what it is, a classic Dong Ding Oolong or standard Dong Ding Oolong from Lugu. So I think it's at least about 3 years ago when Mr. Chen started acquiring other plots of tea. He promised us that he would be able to supply us with the amount that we needed on a seasonal basis. And we really wanted to source from him because he oxidizes his leaves more than basically anyone else we know well, personally. Other people in Lugu are doing it, but as he often says, almost every time we drink this type of tea together, Mr. Chen says, I should mention he was a professional tea judge at the Lugu Farmers Association for over 20 years. They have a lot of training. They do a yearly training and testing, actually. You have to pass the test every year in order to be on the tea judging team of like 36 judges. So he has a broader perspective based on his interaction with the industry, involvement, and professional role in the industry beyond just being a tea producer. The producers would rely more on roasting rather than the original material. They would get perhaps a batch of tea that was oxidized well enough, but still kind of somewhere in between high mountain tea and a traditionally made oolong from Lugu. And then they would administer their roasting techniques to get the flavor profile that they understood to be the standard from the competitions. And he sees that as unfortunate, and because people are not doing what is the most, I would say, most obvious factor of making an artisan oolong, at least in this region, is having the oxidation done properly, okay? And we feel like Mr. Chen is one of the best that we know at it, and that's why we're happy and proud to be representing his Dong Ding Oolong tea. Okay, I really need a sip at this point of all this blabbing. I did 7 grams of tea in a 150 milliliter tea judging cup for 3 minutes the first time and 2 minutes the second time. After the leaves are opened up, reconstituted, they will brew more quickly. So I dropped it down to 2 minutes. The oxidation factor is really evident, and I love that. What does that mean in terms of flavor? Sweet, tangy, a slight kind of fermented aspect to it, just a kind of a I often think of ale. It doesn't really make sense, but I'm not even very experienced with drinking an English type of ale. But something that has almost a briny kind of quality within, sweet, tangy, and here roasted as well. So the roasted combined with just a fruity, complex profile is what makes this tea particularly special in my mind. It's just, I have to say, in my personal opinion, it's just so much more complex and full in its spectrum of flavors than high mountain tea, for an example, which can be complex and flowery and have a bouquet to it. But it's just what it is. It's a lightly oxidized, unroasted oolong tea. So you're really relying on the original material, the actual farm, the leaves themselves, the composition of the leaves, much less on the processing of the leaves. With a traditionally made tea like this, it's a lot about how they are processed. I love Dong Ding Oolong too. There's really not much more I can say about it. Like I kind of go speechless. So I am very happy to just be offering. I think people need to know more. More people need to know about our source of Dong Ding Oolong tea and how it differs from what might be called market grade oolong tea, Dong Ding Oolong tea. So that's another aspect of being inspired to share this, our regular source of Dong Ding Oolong tea, with the tea club members, so that you all can experience it and know about it and see if that really resonates with you as much as it does with me. Okay, and the bonus or complimentary pack of tea that we included, the Reap Rice Tea, again is the stems and leaves that have been removed from 3 or 4 harvests. It's not that much, so to get enough, a big enough amount, we had to combine the seasons, but they're all processed similarly. And the way this was roasted was in the tumble heater that is used for the curing of the oolong tea as the fresh leaves are being processed. So the kill green, as it's called, or shaching, it's basically fixing the leaves, stopping the oxidation process, and determining that the level of oxidation as a result. It's just it looks like a clothes dryer, except it's longer. So it's a big steel drum that heats up really hot. For this, he said I started out like 70 degrees Celsius, and first removed the moisture from the leaves. He said there was steam coming, a cloud of steam coming out of the tumble dryer, and then there wasn't for a long time. And he continued to raise the temperature up to like 130 until there was a little bit of smoke coming out. And he's like, okay, that's actually scalding the leaves or burning some of them. So he stopped it at that point. And we think it was quite a successful method to use. We can see that the dried stem and leaf material looks just like that. You can't really see that it was, it's not very darkened from the roast. But when we look at the brewed leaves and stems, we can see that the leaves got quite dark. There's some leaves that are still quite green, and the stems also mostly are greener than blacker. It's really, this is going to be a really long video this time. The background of this is the first time I tasted this was years ago. I was up on the farm in Shanlinchi with Mr. Chen and his mom, and they have a shed basically with farm supplies, and he's able to brew tea in a very rudimentary way. And he's like, did you bring any tea leaves? And I'm like, no, why would I bring tea leaves up here? I just rode my motorcycle up here to check out the harvest. And so he asked the boss of the team of pickers if he had anything in his truck, and he had triangle tea bags of this type of tea, of Reap Rice tea. And so he brewed it. I think he just put it in the bowl, the tea bags in the bowl, and filled the bowl up with boiling water and let it sit. And then we ladled it out like I'm doing here. And okay, it was a combination of being at higher elevation, foggy morning, fresh air. It's kind of like the camping effect where all the food tastes really delicious. It was like that, and it was like I was just like, this is really satisfying. Kind of chicory roast, coffee-esque character. Let me taste it. Yeah, definitely a campfire roasty aroma coming out of the very cooled down cups here. It's still got, it's not all roast. It's definitely got some complexity, sweet. Some kind of tang, slight bit of astringency to it. Oh, I purposely brewed this a little, I've only put 5 grams of leaves compared to 7 grams of the actual A-grade material, because I think it goes a long way. And it's the first time I've done that. The previous times I brewed it recently, I kind of just brew it like normal tea leaves, 1:15 ratio, for brewing in a gong fu way. So you're brewing it like 1 minute intervals. But 3 minutes, 5 grams of tea, a full flavored. It's actually, I get more complexity out of the, it's got like almost like a buttery smooth aspect to it too. It's really, it reminds me of Scotch. There's like smooth, buttery, sweet, like butterscotch thing, and then there's smoky, definitely smoky, with some fruity complexity. Yeah, I definitely recommend trying it at, not putting too much of the stem and leaf material in your pot to let it kind of show its complexity that it has. The more concentrated you brew a tea, the stronger it will taste, which can be satisfying, but the less complex it will be in its aromatic and flavor profile, as I like to say. Okay, going back to the Dong Ding, there's really no comparison here. We're just brewing these 2 teas simultaneously because you're getting both of these teas side by side. They are related, they are the same original leaf material. This is the A grade, our standard Dong Ding Oolong tea, and this is the B grade. The first time that we've done this, we've never offered the stem and leaf material that's been roasted in a unique way. Repriced tea. Okay, I better finish this video or it's never gonna end. You can tell I love Dong Ding Oolong tea, and we are proud to be representing a local farmer that we feel is representative of his local tradition as well as the professional industry here in Nantou County, Taiwan. Dong Ding Oolong tea, summer 2025 harvest. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time.